Hey, what's going on, y'all? Now, it's early morning and I didn't get the greatest sleep last night, so excuse me if I look kind of tired in this video. But I was just sitting out here enjoying some nature this morning, and I feel God put it on my heart to make this video about retention. So here it is. It's titled, Who Are You Retaining For? And I think that this is a very important question that we all have to ask ourselves as we get deeper into this journey. You know, some of us were at the very beginning, some of us were very far along, but no matter where you are, you have to question who you're retaining for. You know, as we get down and further along this journey, no matter what stage you're at, the devil is going to try to pull you off your path. He's going to try and make you fold, and he's going to try and make you just become a wayward individual. And it's a lot easier to stay on path and to not get pulled off by the temptations of Satan whenever you know exactly who you're retaining for, why you're retaining, and you know what your purpose is as you retain. But as opposed to just looking at the broad overview purpose, I want to really look at who you're retaining for. And I think on this journey, there are really three stages of who you retain for that most of us go through. Some of us, we kind of skip over certain stages because, that's just how God intended it. But for a lot of us, we go through each of these three stages, and sometimes in no particular order, but again, usually in this order. Uh, so the first stage is retaining for women. It's altogether too easy to start retention, to find out about retention, to realize that you can turn your life around with some testosterone, with that life force energy, with that potent seed. You're gonna give the pheromones, the even just the kind of subconscious subliminal signals to women that you're carrying potent seed and that you are a fertile individual. You know what I'm saying? And women, they become attracted. You become magnetic. Women are very attracted to that kind of healthy thing. It's in their programming. It's in our biology. That's why we see a very healthy looking woman. We think that that's attractive. It's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? So in that way, it's very easy to be like, okay, so there's this hack that I can just kind of make myself more attractive to women. Why wouldn't I do this for women? But then this leads you to a few traps, but just a couple of them. One of them being, once you start retaining for women, you become very susceptible to semen demons. Now, what are some semen demons? Semen demons are these kind of females that they sense that you have a lot of seed. They sense that you have all this potent energy. And what do they do when they realize that? They come after it. They want to take that from you, bro. And some of these women, they literally just get with you because you have all this power coming off of you. They take that power off of you. They don't hit you back ever again. Or maybe they hit you back every now and again just to get that little bit of power off you. You know what I'm saying? And these are agents of the devil. These are agents of the opposition. The opposition is using these individuals to keep you weak. You know, okay? Because you're not building a relationship here. You're not building love or trust or anything that's actually, beneficial, anything productive, anything that's godly. And that semen that you're expending is not going towards anything righteous. It's being spilt and wasted. And so, at the end of the day, that's just this exact same thing as jerking off. The devil has you wasting your seed, regardless of whether it's in your hand or into, some chick, what I'm saying, that you don't really care about. So you got to be aware of that. That if you're doing it for women, you become susceptible to women pulling you off your path. And you also, again, even just doing it for women, bruh, it's like you create you put them on a pedestal almost. You know what I'm saying? When you do it for them, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I have to make myself better to get you. Nah, saying like once you realize, once you get a good on retention, you realize, man, these women should be trying to get me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one with the value. I'm the one who's got the goods. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm the one who can provide the worth. Like, why am I, chasing after these women when they should be the ones giving me the signals that I should pursue them? And I was like, you start to reframe how you think about how you think about approaching, or how you think about the way a relationship should form. All right, moving on. Let's go on to the second stage, what I believe is doing this for yourself. Once you've reached this level of retention, you've kind of evolved past doing it for anyone outside you. Because some people do it just to appear cooler, even. You know what I'm saying? To have more of a magnetic vibe, even to just people in general. But then, again, you want to move away from doing it for other people and start doing it for yourself. This is the second stage. It's like, okay, other people are less, or the opinions and the way other people think about me is less important than how I carry and think about myself. So let me care about and love and take care of myself to the maximum. And so again, you start to retain for yourself, and as an act of self-love. as an act of self-care to really make sure that you are taking care of yourself to the maximum. And that's this level of retention that I think most men we get to, you know what I'm saying? But it's not the final stage. It's very important to reach this stage because this is the stage that will take you to the next level. But at the same time, you can't get caught up doing it just for you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the devil can still get you when you're in moments of weakness. When you're doing it just for you, when you don't really care about you anymore, suddenly it becomes way easier to jerk off. Let's say, you know what I'm saying, for a long time I would do it just to make sure I had power throughout the week, just to make sure I was powered up. But when it comes down to that, like I would find myself in moments of weakness being like, do I really even care about me right now? Fuck it, I'm just gonna jerk off. And it's like that's that kind of self-sabotaging, demoralizing mindset that the devil will get you in. And it's actually rather easy to find yourself falling into these mindsets because we're human beings. We are naturally weak. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be in us to fold, to have moments of weakness. But the thing is, God will always strengthen you. God will always make you resolute in those moments when you can't do it yourself. And this is the last stage of retention. When you start doing it for God, when you start doing it for spiritual reasons. This is like when you start doing it for the universal thing, like where I'm preserving my seed even. Like this is like the universal level where you start to care about the life beyond you. You start to care about doing this for like moral reasons, righteous reasons, not just religious, but righteous. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing this for the righteousness of it, to stay away from porn. And I find that when those moments of temptation come to me now, I can put my foot down and say this is morally wrong. Like, and who do I want to be morally? You know what I'm saying? It's easier for me to say I'm not going to sell my morals and I'm not going to sell myself. Weirdly enough, it's like because sometimes in those moments of weakness, it's like, man, I'm just going to do it. But for my moral core, I can't just go against that. And if something like, especially when I've pledged myself to the Lord, it's like you're going to turn your back on God. You're going to spite God, all God's blessings in this moment, just for 5 minutes of pleasure, and then you're going to nut and feel down for the rest of the week. It's like it's not worth it. And when you start to do it for God, like when you really start to value loving and start to value your relationship and loving your ideals and putting your ideals into practice and loving God that much that you're going to hold to those ideals, that's when you start to reach a level of retention that is incredibly difficult for the devil to break. Because you're not standing on your own power any longer. You're standing on God. You're standing with the Lord. This is what I was talking about in one of my first videos where I came back, where I'm talking about what foundation do you have? What are you standing on? You know, are you wheat or chaff? Because there's a storm coming. The devil, and here's the thing, this could be minor storms. Every day in life we're going to face some storms. And when those storms come, if you're not rooted in righteousness, the devil's going to wash you away. It's all too easy for the devil to wash you away. Because if you're not rooted in righteousness, you're rooted in his sandy soil. There is only but those two soils. You know what I'm saying? You're only God's firm, righteous rock, and the devil's loose, sandy soil. I mean, it's like you don't want to be planted in the silt. You don't want to be planted in that because, again, your roots aren't firm and you're going to get washed away. And this is the thing, like when you're on retention, you can find yourselves in these very moments where your roots are not planted. If you're planted in trying to do it for women, if you're planted in trying to do it for your own ego, for your own personal strength, the devil can, he can move and manipulate that. He can maluse that and convert that to his purposes. And that's something where you want to avoid that at all costs. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put yourself or play yourself into the devil's hands. Ideally, we will all be sheltered by the Lord. And ideally, we will all seek that shelter. You know, it's like someone commented that they were dealing with the temptations, and I told them the best advice that I can give them, and I think that really anyone who's trying to resist these temptations that we face on retention, is when you feel it coming on, understand that the darkness is trying to get you, but God is calling you just at the exact same time. God is calling you just as strongly, yelling your name. Don't do it. Come to the light. And then when you hear God's call, when you acknowledge that God is calling you, just like the devil is calling you, you have to make a choice. You know what I'm saying? Don't be indecisive. You have to make a choice now. Are you going to run to the devil, or are you going to run to God? You know what I'm saying? And if you consciously run to the devil, you have to consciously accept those consequences. You know what I'm saying? And ideally, at the end of the day, we're all going to run to God. When we hear his call, we're not going to turn away. We're going to go to God and seek his shelter. because where the Lord is everlasting peace and everlasting protection, and the devil cannot touch you. So seek the Lord, seek shelter, and the temptations will be all the easier to resist. I hope that this video was insightful into who you're retaining for. I hope it made you think a little bit if you're on this retention journey as to who you're retaining for, because it's an important question that, again, can mean the difference between whether or not you resist the temptations. All right, take care, y'all. Peace.